Hello everyone, I have here a quick video to help you understand electron arrangements in atoms. This video is 5 minutes, so I'm going to move through pretty fast, but hopefully this will help you understand where electrons are surrounding an atom. You need to be watching this after you have read your assignment. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with learning or with helping you with how electrons are arranged in an atom. Let's consider the simplest atoms. So that would be hydrogen and helium found on the very first row of the periodic table. The atomic number tells us the number of protons, and since unless we've done chemistry to atoms, the number of protons equals the number of electrons, that means hydrogen would have 1 electron and helium would have 2. So now let's consider where those electrons are surrounding an atom. Here is my very simple view of what an atom looks like. In the center area, the gray area, you have the nucleus, and that's where the protons and neutrons are held. And then it is outside that area where we have the electrons. Okay, let's consider hydrogen. Hydrogen has 1 electron. That 1 electron is going to move into the first shell, or it is housed within the first shell. More specifically, it is housed within a 1s electron. Therefore, hydrogen with 1 electron in its shell has 1 valence electron. Now let's consider helium. Helium has atomic number of 2, therefore 2 electrons. Its second electron is also held within the first shell and also held within an s-type of orbital. Now the first shell is filled, the s orbital is filled, and helium is said to have had 2 valence electrons because it has 2 electrons in its outer shell. Okay, moving forward to a more complicated atom, let's consider nitrogen. Nitrogen has an atomic number of 7, and therefore it has 7 electrons. But where are those 7 electrons, you might ask? Well, let's figure it out. Okay, so here is again, a simplified version of my atom, but since nitrogen is on the second row, we have to consider the second shell as well. So we have a total of 7 electrons that we need to move into this model. Electron 1 goes into the first shell into the s orbital. Electron 2 also goes into the first shell into an s orbital, and now the first shell is completely filled. Now we begin filling electrons into the second shell. So now this third electron goes into the s orbital in the second shell. So your book describes that s orbitals are lower in energy than p orbitals, and we always fill low energy orbitals first with electrons. Our fourth electron goes into the second shell into the s orbital. And so now we have the extra electrons to fill in. So we have now electron 5, electron 6, and electron 7 that fill into the p orbitals in the second shell. Now, I have filled in the p orbitals in the appropriate way for chemistry, but not in a way that I want us to get into detail with right now. Now, let's count how many valence electrons we have for nitrogen. So we only count the number of electrons in the outer shell, so therefore we have 1 electron, 2 electrons, 3 electrons, 4 electrons, 5 electrons in the second shell, so therefore nitrogen has 5 valence electrons. Okay, if you understand this, it's great. If not, you can watch it again. I have a second video that's going to go 1 more row down into the periodic table and explain more details.